The video you will see here was posted just as the orange idiot was leaving the White House in January. However, due to the fact that the branch of astrology known as directions, and specifically in this case solar arc directions, can last years and years, this video is as valid now as it was back in January and definitely merits another look, especially for those who worry about the future prospects of our goofball ex-president. I've already shown that his planetary transits are highly problematic for years to come. Secondary progressions are just as sketchy, and I will be addressing those in a separate video, but his solar arcs, and you'll just have to believe me on this, paint a long-lasting picture of relentless downward pressure and utter devastation, especially when viewed in the context of simultaneous transits that are basically saying the same thing. So, if you haven't seen this video, or if you want to watch it again, here it is. Enjoy the carnage. As the Orange Menace finds himself hours from surrendering the keys to the White House door, I thought I would take this opportunity to give him one more richly deserved astrological beating. In a way, he makes it easy, both because he's the poster child for all things malicious, mendacious, and incompetent, but also because his chart says so, and in that sense I am merely reporting. In prior videos I've explained his transits and progressions are highly problematic, and not just now and into the rest of 2021, but well beyond, at least into the middle of this decade, and with cycles beyond that point that will almost certainly challenge him fiercely. Transits and progressions are the two astrology measurements I check for in everyone and everything when assessing a chart. Third in line would be solar arcs, which is what happens if you project the yearly movement of the Sun onto all planets. This movement is approximately 1 degree per year, a little less if you're born in the summer months, and a little more if in winter. Still, you can eyeball a chart and just add a person's age in degrees to any planet, and it'll give you a sense of what that planet is doing at whatever the age is. If you thought, and it would be correctly, that Trump's transits and progressions look like a bit of a Mad Max and Thunderdome dystopia, then when you take a peek at his solar arcs, you'll realize you've found the third leg of the misery trifecta. The astro jam this man is facing is astrologically remarkable in intensity. Starting from the top of the chart, Eris, which in transit moves ever so slowly and therefore might make very few transits, to Donald's misfortune, it is in fact transiting square his Saturn and Venus for, well, almost forever. But in this measurement, solar arcs, 1 degree or so per year, it has fittingly been over his Uranus right as he lost the election, but effectively all of 2020 and 2021. His Eris is part of a natal T-square, and since he always plays to the cutthroat, competitive, and chaotic side of this planet, when it circulates in his chart, it will bring that into play with predictably negative results. Now we see solar arc Uranus about to cross the ascendant. In the natal chart, this planet is difficult. It is next to the Sun and North Node and also opposes the Moon. So conjoining the ascendant this year and next year doesn't sound very positive. Normally, that is, if this man were normal, he's not, and his abnormality is substantially linked to his criminality, but normally this could be a period of freedom from restrictions and therefore enjoyment of individuality. But my sense is that it's a lot more likely to correlate with the anxieties he will be feeling as he fends off the myriad legal and other problems he is about to face. Next, we see solar arc Mercury in a particularly tricky place just as he's putting his stuff in the U-Haul. It's starting to square his moon, after which it'll square his sun, and it'll be 2025 before it gets past the sun degree. It's in his money house, so you can safely project difficult times in that realm of experience. Now look at Venus, which is already going degree by degree inside that Access Hollywood T-square, but will need 3 years more to get beyond the square to the 12th house Mercury. This, among a host of other things, threatens difficult career patterns, karmic attacks from women, and even prison. Solar arc Pluto is a little over a year away from entering into a square to his 12th house Saturn-Venus conjunction, and it will be 2027 before it gets through that one. Nothing like putting pressure on 12th house planets if you want to find trouble on account of paying for your past dirty deeds. And since the 12th is prisons, I would put this one in the incarceration risk department as well. Solar arc Neptune presents another enormous problem because it is likely his most dangerous natal planet in terms of karmic consequences. It squares his natal Mercury and opposes Eris, and I believe defines the Donald to a T, no pun intended. It's all deception and mendacity, which tend to be like spending money with a credit card. You do eventually get the bill, and we already know the transit in Neptune is in just about the worst place it can be for the next few years. Now we see that the solar arc Neptune will need until about 2028 to get through his Uranus, Moon, and Sun. And finally, and possibly most uncomfortably, solar arc Saturn is just entering into the degrees of his dreaded T-square and will need about 5 years to get through the 3 planets. In conclusion, the solar arc pattern emphatically re-emphasizes what you see in his transits and progressions. The idea that he is going to be an all-powerful something or other when he leaves the White House, I believe is tragically mistaken. I think this guy is in for a pitched battle, and though I wish I could feel empathy for him and for his plight, the truth is I do not. Donald doesn't like to own up to his debts, but unfortunately for him, it's now time to pay up, and I have a feeling it's going to be with a lot of interest.